Um, this is my first video that I'm going to be making that is long form content. And if you're following me already, it's probably because you saw a short of me making these or blocking them. And I figured why not dive into this journey and make it so that you get a more in-depth tutorial on how to make these kind of things. I find the patterns for these on antiquepatternlibrary.org, and I just think they're really fun. I will say I made these over a year ago and I have greatly improved on my colorwork skills. If you look at the back, none of my floats are anchored. They just float, like go many stitches. Like this is like 40 stitches across, and there's nothing holding this white down. Eventually I would probably like to secure these, but I don't know, at the moment they're just hanging on a wall, so it doesn't really bother me. I do think they look pretty cool, but I should probably in my future projects actually anchor my floats so that they don't get snagged, especially when I'm currently working on a sweater, and that'll be like taken off and on often, so I should probably work on that. But yeah, so I make these. I've also made smaller ones before. These are some of the larger ones that I make. This is about 60 stitches across versus this one I believe is about 30, and they're much smaller. I haven't blocked this one yet, so it still is pretty curved. Made this one a while ago as well. It's currently summer and I knit far less in the summer. I mostly sew, and so these kind of things are what I work on in the winter. I made this 2 winters ago. This was my second project that I had ever done. I found these on Pinterest originally before I was able to track them back to the antiquepatternlibrary.org. So that's how I got my start, is looking on Pinterest and finding these. This was the first one I ever made. I think it's pretty. Yeah, this one I originally made just to like hang on my wall, and I had it on my bulletin board here for a long time before I officially blocked it. And I did kill the yarn on this one because I didn't know that you're not supposed to touch the yarn to the iron. You're just supposed to keep a space. Where if you watched my short, you can see that there is a tiny space between my iron and the yarn for these. And everyone comments that I did it wrong and you're not supposed to touch it. I didn't touch it. I swear, it just looks like I did. And every day I get comments about how I absolutely don't know what I'm doing. So if you want to know how to actually block these, make sure you read the comments, because it'll let you know what's going on with that. But so for today, I am picking up this sweater that I've been working on. I'm still unsure if I want to make this a full pullover sweater with this as the front, or if I want to make a cardigan with this on the back. I still have the wings and the head to do, and so I'm kind of afraid that this sweater is going to end up being really long, which I don't love the idea of. I would prefer it to be kind of, you know, hip or waist level, like more of a cropped is what I typically wear in my sweaters. I don't know, I've never made a cardigan before. I have made one pullover sweater that is so thick and it's so chunky, and I never wear it except for when I'm very cold. But yeah, so this is the start of a dragon. I believe this is off of book 5 of the Antique Pattern Library, in terms of all of that, but this is what I'm going to be working on. I abandoned it last year because it does take a lot of effort to knit these things, because you have the pattern on the screen and you're perfectly doing each stitch with each color, so I can't really multitask when I do my color work, versus if I'm sewing or if I'm knitting something else like in stockinette, I can just kind of like brain off, kind of work on that, or like watch a show, versus these take a lot of effort and it takes kind of all of my brain power, which is exhausting. So I'm gonna try to jump back into this. My plan for today is to go to a coffee shop and potentially knit in the coffee shop. I have my yarn here. I have caked this red, and I have another skein that I haven't caked yet, so I have plenty of this kind of maroon color that I have. But this is all that I have left of this white, and I don't want to go back to Joann's to buy more of this, but I have a feeling I will need to. Like, obviously there's a lot of white that goes into this. This was really tangled last time I looked at it, and so I need to go through and like actually cake this. This was just me winding a ball of yarn so that way I could actually like use it and I could cake it. So first steps, I'm gonna cake this real quick, and then I'm gonna go to the coffee shop and I'm gonna get started on this a little bit, and we'll see how far I get. Starting right now, we left off here. My goal is to get at least 10 more rows done today. That is a big ask. We'll see if I do it. So okay, so it is the next day. I stayed up far too late last night working on this project, and I didn't intend to, but then I just like got in the zone and I got way farther than I thought I was going to. My goal was to do 10 rows. I definitely did like 20, close to 30. So this is where we are now. We are this is the chin of the dragon. So we are heading into head territory. We are almost done. When I have it at like waist level, it comes up to here. So I think we can make this a pullover sweater. It will just be like squared off and then sewn at the top. But my goal is the head should finish around here, which should give me enough time to kind of shape out a neck. That way I can attach that later. I'm not going to be shaping any armholes though, because the wings do go until the very end at the top, and I want to keep those. So it'll come up here from there, but I'm really excited with how it looks. Like, it's going so well. It's funny though, because if you look on the back, I started anchoring my floats, and you can definitely tell when I started anchoring my floats versus when I was just letting them kind of freeform. I'm gonna have to go through and like stitch these down with thread or something in order to help with that. But I only have like 10 or 15 rows to go, I think. So we will see how that goes. I don't have anything else to do today, so I'm just gonna be knitting, and I definitely think I can get this done today. We will see. I am playing Yarn Chicken with the white. So I have a whole other skein of this maroon color that I can dip into if I need to. And I have other skeins also for like the back of the sleeves and things. I only have this much left of this white, and I don't know if I'm gonna make it for all 15 rows. I don't have any more of this exact white. I do have another skein of white, but it's a different brand, and I think it's a little more ivory than this one. And I don't want to dip into that, but I also don't want to buy a whole new skein just for like those few rows. So we'll see how it goes if I get this close. If I do end up buying a new skein, it won't be the end of the world. I'm kind of playing around with the ideas of around the cuffs doing some like white work so that there's something interesting on the sleeves. So that would be good to have white for, but we're really cutting it close. I'm playing a game here. Hopefully it'll work. If not, it's not the end of the world, but still. I am done. I finished all of the color work for the dragon, all the wings. I'm gonna do a few more rows of the maroon, and then I'm going to go ahead and start shaping for the neck hole. I was able to finish it with this much of the cream yarn left, so I won Yarn Chicken. Very excited about that. And I want to buy like quite a bit. It's not like the worst in the world. I've definitely finished projects with less. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do the shaping, and then it'll be done, at least the front. then I have to go ahead and do the back and the sleeves and the collar. But this is the hard part. Now it's just like stockinette, just like going all the way through. It'll be a lot faster for the other ones. Like, that's not going to be a problem. But yeah, so I'll get working on that and we'll see how it is. Okay, so I have my two shoulder sides separated out, and I know that there's a way to do fancy decreases, but I'm not really sure how to do that. So I'm gonna watch some YouTube videos, and of course, after a couple videos, I'm gonna be an expert, right? So we'll see how that goes. So I'll come back and we'll see if I'm actually able to figure out how to decrease in a fancy style. If not, I'm just knitting two together until and hoping for the best. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I watched the tutorial and it looks pretty simple. Once again, this is not a tutorial. So this is just me figuring things out as I go along. So for one side, I'm just going to knit two together about 3 stitches in from the edge. That way I have a nice clean border going along the edge. And then the other side, I'm gonna slip 2 stitches over, knit them together in SSK is the abbreviation for it. I don't know. Once again, about 3 stitches in, so I have a nice border going up the edge. We'll see how that works out. I'm gonna definitely refer back to this tutorial again. Very helpful in terms of like making things slow. We'll see how it goes. Okay, the front panel is done. It is all shaped with the neckline out. I wanted to give it a lot of room up here so that when I add the collar area, there would be enough room for that to go in, so it wouldn't be like a turtleneck. I'm almost wondering if I left a little too much space, but we will see. We will find out. You can't really tell from far away. I was supposed to knit 2 together on one side, and I was supposed to slip and knit on one side when making the decreases. I messed up and I did all of one side wrong, and then I didn't realize, and I wasn't gonna start over, and so I just did the other way correct. So one side looks great, the other side looks a little less than great. It looks fine, it did the job, but it's not like absolutely perfect, which is fine. This whole thing isn't absolutely perfect. This is my first sweater that I've made with any kind of true integrity into it and wanting it to look nice. So it's okay if it's a little wonky. Honestly, it's gonna be fine. I don't have high hopes that the bottom will get all the bumps out because my tension was weird and because I didn't anchor a lot of my floats. The top, the tension's great and there aren't as many lumps, and that's gonna all block out really well. So we'll figure it out. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna end the video here because the rest will be like the back and sleeves and then sewing it together, and this is the interesting part. But keep watching. Thank you for watching the video. If you made it this far, that's insane. But this is what I've done so far. It definitely needs to be blocked out, curling a lot at the edges. I will follow the comments that people posted in a short that I made a while ago. But yes, here it is. Here's the front of my dragon sweater. I'm really happy with how the color work turned out, and I hope it just works out overall. So thank you so much for watching. Comment if you have any ideas for how to do the back or anything that in the future would be helpful. Please be nice, and have a good one. Thank you.